Awesome. Well, welcome everybody to our content creation masterclass. My name is Joe Wilson, founder and CEO of Social Coach. But we're not talking about Social Coach today. We're talking about just some basic but awesome ways to create some content that is eye-popping on social media. And what is awesome about social media is the way to get really great content out to followers and hopefully grow your business. One thing super passionate about is video content, only because it does perform. You get about 60% higher viewers than you do with just a static image post. So today we're going to walk you through creating some video content that looks like a static post but has some video aspect to it. And we're going to create something here. I'm going to show you a bunch of tips and tricks that I use to create this content along the way. I do want this to be interactive, so if you have any questions, feel free to turn on your audio and ask the question. Feel free to stop me, or you can always use the chat feature below. Hopefully this will be informative and helpful for you. So I'm going to teach you some tips and tricks in iMovie. So if you're not an iMac or not a Mac user, that step might be a little bit different for you. But all those things that we do in iMovie can be done in Captions or in Canva. I'm going to show you that process that we use to create video content, and it starts with iMovie. Well, really it starts with creating some video content, which I've done before this meeting. So we're going to take that, do some light editing in iMovie, switch it over to Canva, create a good post, take that as a video, and then do some final merging and editing inside of a free tool called Captions. So everything today should be free. I have some elements I'll talk about that are paid, but those are totally optional and nothing that you had to pay Social Coach for. So this is really just for fun. So what I'm going to do actually is start here in iMovie. So let's share my screen over here. So this is the iMovie platform. It comes standard with every Mac that you have. You can see all the plethora of video content I have on here. But the first thing you're going to do is just click on Create New, and you're going to say Create a Movie. And I've already created a sample video for us today. So I'm just going to drag that in for my desktop, although you can obviously click on Import Media and upload a video there. And from here, we're just going to drag it down to this spot. So I have this really short 11-second video that I just filmed before. So we've got, here it is.
Here's the video we used talking about iMovie, Captions, and Canva to make some great posts.
Okay, so really silly and a lot. I just was trying to be exaggeratory or exaggerate the end here, that for a lot of videos, don't feel like they have to be perfect when you create them, because you can always edit them. And it's the easiest thing to do is just kind of notice where you finish up with a little smile. Probably right about here. So I know that's my spot. And I can just simply drag to that location and trim the edge of that clip. And I want to see. Perfect, right? Very easy to do, super simple to edit that. It is still there if you need to. If you messed up, it's always easy to come back and readjust that. But now we're down to a 7-second video. Obviously, a lot of your videos might be a little longer than this, but I wanted to make it super simple and easy for us in our efforts today. So I have my video on here, and I wanted to show you 2 more things in iMovie before just editing that length of it. There are 2 things. One, I want to show you how to throw on a image overlay, so like your logo. And then the second thing I want to do is show you adding some audio. So first we're going to do is we're going to add another image on here. We're going to do that by simply importing. So you can do it by file, import media, or a shortcut is your command button and I, or control I if you're on a, on a PC. But I have some logos here. I'm going to grab my logo. I'm not actually going to append it here because we're going to add it to our design a little bit later. But I just want to add one here to show you. So I'm going to add this one. Where are you, little friend? This is the one. Okay. So this image that I'm importing is one that has no background. And so it is a little bit easier to do here. Definitely recommend not having background images. And for some reason that didn't want to work. So I'm going to just find it in my Finder. Here we go. Logo. You can always just drag in too if that's easier. Sometimes the import feature in iMovie or any of these programs ends up just being a little weird sometimes. And there's no real rhyme or reason why they are the way they are. But there you go. So here it is not showing up. Titles, background, transitions. Okay, not sure why that is being the way it is. All right, that was annoying. A lot of this, guys, is just trial and error sometimes here. Why is that not wanting to import my image? Okay. We're going to try one more time. And if this doesn't work, I just don't even know. Here we go, guys. Already feeling like an idiot. 2 seconds into this. Here we go. Let's try that. Import. Boom. It worked. Okay. So when importing an image, this is a super wonky process. And this is the whole reason I wanted to show you this is you got to pull it down here. And then you have to show how long you want to have it. So we're going to trim this to be right where we want it to be. And then we're going to highlight it. And over in this section up in the top right, we're going to click this crop button. And we're going to say fit, because we want this whole image to be in here. Crop to fill is not going to work. So we're going to say fit. And we're going to come back to this. And we're going to say picture. We're going to it's this button right here, and then we're going to say this drop down menu. We don't want cutaway, we want picture in picture. So that way it is going to be overlaying into our image. So here we've got it. I'm going to just link it down here, put it where I want it to be. The one thing with iMovie is their way of having every movie is landscape. So it's just something that you gotta think through here when you are designing. A lot of times when you have video content, if you're just doing a interview or something like that, you might want to just do a video here. But in today's purpose, we are going to put this image inside, or this video inside another image. So I'm going to keep everything really simple and put it on here. But just like that, we now have our image inside of our video. You see there's a nice little intro to it, so it didn't just harshly come in. And the same thing at the end, it has a nice little dissolve. But like I said, we are not going to add that in today. So I'm going to actually just delete this. And that's it. So you can delete it just by getting it down to basically nothing and hitting delete. So that is it there for our image. Not sure why I can't delete it. Delete, boom, it's gone. Next thing I want to show you here is adding audio. Audio is where you take your content to the next level. Basic video where you're just talking, it sometimes can get a little dry, especially if you have different audio sounds. If you got a fan, I've got a little fan over here in the background. Sometimes that can be super annoying. And actually with this, let me show you one little thing really quick here before we do that. When you click on your video here and you click on this sound feature, you can have, make sure you've got the audio in as it is. But here in this next feature here, I don't even know what this call this, but we can actually reduce the background noise, which is really, really helpful if you have kids yelling, the gardener in the side yard, a fan going, whatever, or maybe just an echoey room. This actually really helps with the sound. So let me show you.
Talking about iMovie, Kapwing, and Canva to make some great posts.
So you might have heard a little bit of static. This is one of those things I get like super crazy about is the static noise. So let's just take this off and see if we can listen really quick.
Oh, hey, here's the video we used talking about iMovie, Kapwing, and Canva to make some great posts.
So I really like that. The other thing I like to do too is look at the equalizer. This will change based on the person, their intonation, their voice. You can change it to have voice enhance, loudness, hum reduction. That's especially if you have a lot of hum noise in the background. Sometimes a simple bass boost will just give that like deeper, nicer sound. Might not work very well if you're editing a female content, but I like that here.
iMovie, Kapwing, and Canva to make some great posts.
It just gives it a little more depth to that sound here. So now I'm going to click on audio and we're going to add some nice music to this. I've got here just this little sound here. It's got some nice music and it's very long. So this is one of those things that I use that is not free, but I've found some really great resources. Audio, you have to make sure that you have a license that is allowable to post content. This is where you can get into some trouble if you are on YouTube or anything like that. They're really stickler with audio. So I use a platform called Epidemic Sound, and I can actually, let me link that below for you guys in the Zoom here. Let's see. I'll send it out after, but I can do it in the chat really quick. So in the chat, so I use www.epidemicsound.com. It's a simple $12.99 license per month, but they have unlimited downloads and you can get some like pretty cool music. So here, now you'll listen, I can have some music added to the background.
Okay.
But it's way too loud, right? So what you need to do then is drag with this button down. And I like to usually put mine at like 8 to 10%, somewhere along that range, where it's just some nice background noise. And it's really helpful for other things in the future. But here, listen to it now.
Oh, hey, here's the video we used talking about iMovie, Kapwing, and Canva to make some great posts.
So I don't know if it makes you guys like that more, but for me, I like it a little bit better. That one might not be the best sound for it, but you can play around with it. They have lots of different sounds you can choose from. So from here now, I like how this looks. It's edited to the correct size and the music's on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on File, and I'm going to say Share, and I'm going to share this as to File. And maybe you can't see. Let me share my whole screen for you, so you can see this, because iMovie is really weird with the way that you have to export things. It's not super straightforward. So you click on File, Share, and share to File. And then we just say sample video 2. And then you can have a description here if you want to. Format, we can say video and audio. We want to make sure that's correct. Resolution. Now this is where, depending on the platform you're going to do, you may want to reduce the size to 720 if it's just going to be for social media, like on LinkedIn or Instagram. If you're going to put this content on YouTube though, I highly recommend keeping it at 1080. For the sake of today, I'm going to just put the 720 to make it a little bit simpler for uploading and downloading features. So that just in the background of your desktop will stay on there, and it will let you know up in the top right-hand corner when it is ready. My file is ready. I'm going to show that in my Finder. And here we have sample video 2. It's going to pop up in QuickTime.
Oh, hey, here's the video we used talking about iMovie.
Perfect, right? All right, so now next step. Let's go to our friend Canva. This is where the fun will really begin here, my friends. So let me share this other screen here and we'll go into Canva. So Canva is literally my favorite feature of all time for design and creating content. There's a free version and there's a pro version. I highly recommend the pro version if you want access to great, really great content and some like more efficiency tools. If you're a light user of it though, the free version, totally easy. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna click create a design. And today we're just gonna make a LinkedIn post. And that's just 1200 by 1200 design. That's the width and the size here. And we're gonna make a simple design. We're gonna leave some room for caption at the bottom when we add that through Kapwing later. But there's a couple things I wanna show you in Canva, a couple things that I think really elevate your content. But the first thing we're gonna do though, is we're gonna get my video and we're gonna pop that into, I'm gonna drag it in here. But really, if you want to, you can click on uploads and upload your media. I'm gonna click on video so you can see that, but I'm just gonna drag and drop this in. I love the drag and drop. It's so much easier, so much simpler. But here we've got the drag and drop and my video is uploading in the background while I do other things on here. Couple things I wanna show you just really quickly though too, in terms of like Canva hacks before we really start to jump into creating this content. There are two things that I think are super cool things that you can do that will really elevate your content. The first thing is taking an image and removing the background from it. So here's just a picture of me that I have. Maybe my wife takes some pictures of me to put in some posts and things like that. But you don't need to see everything in the background. So what you can do here to remove it, you see this a lot in a lot of people's posts, they just have pictures of themselves. It really brings that personal brand into your posts, gets that kind of face recognition, and people just like you. They like you for who you are and the way you look. So throw yourself in there a little more. But try to keep it nice and easy. And this is also great for your team. If you're creating content for a specific real estate agent or loan officer in your office, add their face, their image. They love that, and they need all the brand recognition they can get. So here's what we do. We click on our image, we click on effects, and this is super simple to do. You just click on background remover. And what it's gonna do is it just uses their artificial intelligence to remove all the background and just leave you on there. So just like that, it's done. I can crop this down to wherever I want. So we're just gonna get like a chest shot and leave it like that. And you can make it bigger, make it smaller. There you go. So you can have this just kind of in the side. Don't be afraid to chop the side of people off. It kind of looks good that way. So that is effect number one I wanted to show you. The next thing I want to show you is elevating your content on Canva without using the templates. Please, please, please don't do this. So many people are lazy designers, and what they'll do is they'll click on templates and they'll just like take this and reuse it. You see this kind of stuff all the time. While these designs do look good, to a lot of people, we're just seeing the post that you stole from Canva. So don't do that unless you really love it. And in case, just go ahead and do it. It's fine. What I love to do here though is come into the photo section and start browsing around for images that you love. And I found a couple of content packs that are really, really good. And I wanted to show you something that if you find an image that you like, and by the way, you can certainly use this search feature. It's an omni search feature. So based on the content that you're using, if you want to do like a flag for Flag Day, you can search for flags. If you like an image and you want to find more from that specific provider, like maybe you love this one here, this maybe isn't the right fit for you, but you want something with that same kind of vibe. If you hover over this image and you click on this more feature here, you can see view more from this designer at Getty Images Pro. So if you click on that, it's going to take you to the Getty Images brand. So you can start to find better images that fit with the vibe with what you're looking for here. Getty Images, guys, they have the best ones, and they're not on the top of the search features a lot. So you can find some really good stuff on here. I like big, bright, bold colors on your posts here. They're always really helpful. This designer here has really great stuff. So something you can also do here is if you right click, you can set it as your background image. And then if you double click on an image, you can move it to be where you want it to be. I think that looks really cool. You can add some text over here and make something really nice. It looks very crisp, very clean, very good stuff. Okay, so that was tip number 2. I'm going to delete this though, because what we're going to do today is add an image or add the video into this image. So what I'm going to do actually is click on elements. And one of my favorite features to do is throw a phone frame on here. And there are a lot of framed images, and you can see anytime if you just do like frame, I think like photo frame is probably the way to do it here. Maybe not. Let me go back to phone frame. And so right on here, maybe we can just do view more for marketplace designers. No, that's not what I'm looking for here. Gosh, it's down here, down below. Okay, so frames, you can look on frames and start to see this is a way to like frame mock-up. So you can have a desktop, laptop. I love to use the phone. It is super relevant to me in our industry, but throwing these frames on here are super cool. So I like to kind of add a little just visual interest. So what we're gonna do is throw this on here, make it kind of right here in the corner. I'm gonna leave some room at the bottom for our captions a little later. So we're just gonna put that kind of in the corner there. What we then can do is come here to the uploads. I've got my video, and what I'm gonna do is literally just drag this right into my frame.
Oh, hey, here's the video we used talking about.
Just like that, our image, our video is perfectly positioned inside of this phone frame. If you need to adjust it, you can obviously move things around, but it's looked really good to me as it was, and now I'm messing with it to where it shouldn't be, but you can double tap that, put it where you want to, highlight the different sections, et cetera, et cetera. But kind of throwing just off from the normal, let me just throw up a video and have it be that video content, making it something a little bit nicer. Now let's throw a caption on here as well. So I'm going to go over here to text, and you can browse through this and find one that looks good for you. There's a couple things I really like to do though that makes these posts stand out, is just click add a heading, and let's come up with a nice little caption here. This is my, and then we're going to say sample video. Okay. And then actually what we're going to do is I'm going to click on, we're going to do a couple things with this text to make it line up nicely and kind of keep things nicely together. So there are a couple things in like design that look really good. And one of them honestly is just making these all caps. So I'm going to make all these all caps by clicking on this uppercase here, just to make it really simple. You could obviously have done this in all caps to begin with. Another thing I like to do is play around with the letter spacing and the line spacing. Line spacing would be if you have those together. But to make things really simple on yourself, do separate out each line so you can organize them how you need to. And I'll show you why that's important in 2 seconds here. For me, I use a standard number all the time, -40. I kind of like my letters to be really squishy. Maybe you don't like that. It'll all depend on your brand guidelines and what looks good for you. So we're going to do -40 on all of these. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put them all real nicely together on a, keeping it nicely blocked and chunked together. But the way to do that, and I would say keep everything if you can inside of a, this like outside square, but don't worry about all of your text being the same size. What's more important is that you kind of get everything lined up nicely. So as you can see, as I drag this, that little pinkish purplish line shows up. So here I'm now have this all in line. I'm going to put this guy up here too. Everything, like Canva does a really good job at keeping you nice and fresh. But if for some reason you're off a little bit, what you can do, this is a cool Canva trick too, is just highlight by hitting Shift and doing it that way, or you can just drag a little line. And there is this great feature here called grouping. We'll group all together. But what I actually want you to do is click on this little extra more button here and click on position. And I like to use, you can position it vertically, horizontally, or tidy up. This one is magical for me. Tidy up puts everything where it should be in nice vertical and horizontal, keeping everything nice and tight. What I'm going to do here though, is I'm actually going to move these up. I like a little less room between my text, just to keep things nice and tight. And again, guys, this is play by ear with what you think looks good to you and to your team, and obviously use your brand guidelines if you have them for your company. So now I have everything kind of nice and tight. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to group these all together so that they stay in that frame how I like it. And then we can adjust the size later. So just click on group, and I can always ungroup those elements later if I want to. But I'm going to just start dragging this around and playing with it a little bit to see where I think it looks good. So this is my sample video. Cool, we've got this image here. I've got this stupid look on my face with that, but that's okay, guys. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my logo onto here. Like I said, I wanted it kind of on the bottom versus in the video here, but you do what you want. You know how to put on the video now. So I've uploaded a couple of my logos into here, and I've got this kind of black vibe going on here. So I'm going to just throw it maybe below here. I kind of like that today. As you can see here, it's like snapping to these edges. I want it to be vertical through on there. So boom, we've got that. Feel free to change text colors, things like that. Sometimes we want a little pop of color on one. I just think that like looks pretty nice. Another thing I want you to look at too here with this is a couple of the effects that you can apply to your text here. So here, I'm gonna click on effects. One of the ones that I use a lot is lift. These other ones can look pretty hokey though, so just be super careful with them. Even lift can look a little hokey. You see like this one a lot and this one a lot, but unless you're like really kind of doing something super fun, these can just end up looking cheesy and cheap. So don't do it unless you really love it. But lift, a lot of times what it'll do is this just kind of looks very flat. If you need to like lift a little bit, or you have like a background color or something, it can lift it off the screen a little bit. So with the lift, you can see I kind of have this little bit of a haze in the background. And as I thicken that, you can see it get a little bit darker, a little bit lighter. Just play around with it to what is going to give you that pop that you're looking for. And you can do the same. I like to make sure that my numbers are the same here. So I think I did 30. So we'll do this one to 30 as well. Boom, we've got it. It just kind of lifted off the screen, gave it a little more pop. It just gives it that more kind of professional look. Last thing we're going to do on here before we transition to Kapwing is we are going to add a little bit of a background. Sometimes the white background looks great, guys. Sometimes you want to have a different color. You can easily add just a color if you want to. Obviously, we're not going to use black or gray. That just looks awful. You got to be very careful with what you do here. But sometimes a simple, light, kind of fresh background gives you just a little bit of a pop. You got to be careful sometimes with color, but you can look at patterns or gradients or what have you. I like to have just like a little bit of texture on it so that it just gives it a little extra oomph to it. So this has like just a little bit of texture in the background, but I am not in love with this like beige kind of look to it. So it might want to look for a different one, but don't do that. Do this instead. So click on this little background color, and maybe we can try white or gray because it has a little bit of gray into it. I'm going to just click on white. And so now I've got that nice crisp color again. And if I need this to be a little bit lighter, you can click on this transparency button and lighten it up so it's just barely there, or make it super dark, whatever you want. I think actually this one looks kind of good. Somewhere in the 80s. It just has that extra little kind of look to it, right? Before we move on, the next thing I just want to do here really quickly is add some animation to this, just to kind of make things a little bit more fun. When you click on animate, there's got some free animations on here. You can also use the pro ones. I think are a little bit nicer. The stomp or pop are probably my favorites for no good reason other than I just think they look cool. Scrapbook is kind of fun too. Neon is great. I think typically I like to use pop or stomp though, just to add a little bit of something else. But the one thing I want you to be careful with is if you do that, you're gonna run into one struggle when you post it to LinkedIn. It's going to need to have an overlay image or a thumbnail image, because if you do add these animations, it'll just be blank. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to duplicate this page really quick. And then we're going to get to a spot on here that you think you look good. Or if you don't love your face, like sometimes I think I look like a total turd. Maybe this thumbs up is okay.
Canva.
Oh gosh, please stop. Okay, we can leave it like that. You can get it to where you want it to be, or you can just take that off and throw in your photo or somebody else's photo into there as well. You know, definitely keep yourself front and center here, but just for fun, we'll throw in this gal here who is popping out of her frame here, and I just think that maybe looks a little bit fun. Gives it a little extra color, whatever you want to do here. Maybe you just do it a little more like that. Kind of coming through the frame here. And this you can use as, we'll download that as an image. So what we're going to do here is we're going to download two things. We're going to download page 2 only, and we're going to download that as a PNG. So that is now our thumbnail image. And then we're going to download page 1 only as an MP4. So, and actually we're going to call this sample video 2-1. So I know where to get it. So I'm going to download this as an MP4. And again, just page 1, because that's my video. This is my thumbnail. We'll click done and we'll say download. And that will download here in just a second. But as that's downloading, I'm going to transition over to Kapwing. So Kapwing is the final and last piece that we're going to do today. And this is a totally free, really amazing video editing tool. And I love it. It does a couple things for me. It keeps my content organized here. But what is great about this is you can do a couple of fun extra things that you can't necessarily do in iMovie or Canva. But the number one reason why I love it is for its caption tool, which you'll see here in a second. So my video has been downloaded. So I'm going to drag that here to upload it. And just like that, we've got our video. And let's just play really quick. It's only 10 seconds.
Oh, hey. Here's the video we used talking about iMovie, Kapwing, and Canva to make some great posts.
Cool. So now you can see how that animation worked pretty well here. The first thing we're going to do, though, is we are going to go to subtitles. So we're going to click on subtitles right here. And this is, guys, maybe blow your mind. It blew my mind. It does every single time. But you literally can click auto generate and it will auto generate your captions for you. So you don't have to like sit there and type every little bit every single time. It does take a hot minute to do this, but it is so important, guys. Captions are really important for two reasons. Number one, A lot of people are browsing LinkedIn or browsing Facebook while they work, sometimes in a office environment. So they can't always listen to what you have to say. And sometimes they just want to read it. I find myself a victim of that even when I'm alone in my office and I have some downtime. I don't necessarily love to listen to the audio piece of this, but I want to hear what people are saying. So I'll read the captions as they go along. The other piece of this is for accessibility, right? We want to make sure that your content is accessible for those that are hard of hearing or what have you. So here it has generated some captions for me. Again, this is super quick. It is auto-generated, so there are going to be some problems here. So let me show you what I mean. So here, let's see how this goes.
Oh, hey, here's the video we used talking about iMovie.
So I'm moving versus iMovie. So you just come in here and type it.
iMovie, Kapwing, and Canva.
And I'm not sure how it got to be the point. iMovie, Kapwing, and Canva. Canva to make some great posts. And I said, oh, hey, not okay. Here's the video.
Oh, hey, here's the video we used talking.
Here's the video we used. So like I said, it's not perfect, but it does get you the captions. On here, you can decide what kind of captions you like. We've got a couple different things here. We can put them down at the very bottom. You can change the text, the color, if you want a background or not. I obviously recommend doing a background so that people can read it. I kind of like the wrap feature. I feel like that's the best. The full can maybe take up too much area at the bottom. But you can say if you want more or less transparency with that outline here. You can translate it into a different color, or not color, language if you need to. We can change the color if we want to. I think white looks totally fine. So we're going to click done. So now we've got our captions on here. And so let's see how this looks again.
Oh, hey, here's the video we used talking about iMovie, Kapwing, and Canva.
So you can see, leave that space in the bottom was really important for us as we wanted to add our captions on here. Very simple. Last thing I want to show you on here is adding just some animations sometimes. Like you want to add a little spice into your video here. You know, you can do something like in the elements section, just like in Canva, you can search for things. I searched for add, build, knife, that's your thing. Let's go ahead and just add this little guy on top of here. It's just kind of fun. And we're going to do that. And we're going to just kind of put it above my head like this. Maybe just off the edge a little bit. So it's, yeah, it's probably good. Actually, let's keep it inside the phone frame. That might be a little better. We'll tilt a little bit more. Okay, I think that kind of looks nice. And then with those elements, you can decide how long you want to have them, where you want to have them, you know, drag it to the particular portion of where you want to. So we're going to just put this really at the end of our post. And just like that, we have created a great post. So let's see how this looks.
Oh, hey, here's the video we used talking about iMovie, Kapwing, and Canva to make some great posts. Oh, hey.
Maybe we want to just drag this a little bit to the end where it starts to fade. We don't necessarily want that fade on there. So that's it, guys. We've created this great post here. All I'm going to do next is click export video, and it will take some time in the back end, but it is super simple. The thing with Kapwing is it is free up into a 1-minute video. I don't recommend typically doing anything longer than a minute anyway. Most people's attention span is about 30 seconds. So keep your videos short, keep them snappy, keep them fun. This is the way to do it. This is the way that we do it. There's a million other ways, a million other practitioners out there that will share different ways to do your video content. Canva, etc. But that is the way we do it, and we get some pretty good engagement on our posts. So hopefully it is awesome. So that is that. Oh, last thing I'll show you just really quick too, actually, with this, we have, I want to just show you real fast. When you're uploading a video, and my video from Kapwing is not quite done yet, I don't think. This is the one thing, guys, that honestly kind of drives me nuts here, is that this processing just takes forever. They're doing a lot though with the captions, the images and everything. So I'll give them a break. Pro, you'll get faster processing, etc. But definitely take a look at this if you want to. But with this, you can upload your video. Obviously, we've got this here. I'm not going to post this, but this is where, you know, like, look, this looks so dumb. This would be your thumbnail for the video because the images are popping in and everything. This is where your thumbnail comes to play. So select your thumbnail. We had our sample one here. So now I've got my sample thumbnail, and I think it looks pretty good. Obviously, you can make additional adjustments to your thumbnail as you want, but that thumbnail should be eye-popping and should be something to do with your video at least. So that is that. I'll actually open it up now here for any questions, or if you guys want to go back to anything that we looked at in terms of Kapwing or iMovie or Canva, or you have any questions at all, certainly turn on your mic or shoot me a chat feature here and I can answer them or help you out any way I can.
Okay.
Hey, Joe.
Here's the video we
Hi.
was talking
It's
about.
Mary.
It stopped. Hang on, sorry.
Oh,
It finally downloaded from Kapwing and just started auto playing in the background. But so that was, sorry about that. But go ahead, Mary. What's up?
no, that's awesome. That looks so great. And I think I have seen some of your posts where you've done that.
Yeah.
As I was watching it, it kind of made me think, like, what kind of content would I want to put in there? And one of the things that came to mind, you know, for my industry is maybe like to get somebody to read a blog post. You know, if we did like a little, just a quick thing about, like, you know, this new first-time home buyers program, government regulations have changed, read our article or something like that. Like what type of content do you think would be like best for this kind of thing?
Yeah, Mary, that's such a good idea. I love that so much. Getting somebody to just give a little bit of a teaser like that. So I can see, like, you know, the unfortunate thing is like clickbait and like those kind of fun things that really, really works, right? So if you can come up with, you know, some kind of like really like less than 20-second summary of that blog post to get people to want to read it, that gets them into your ecosystem, right? If you can get them from social onto your website reading, they're going to be more likely to learn more about you. So I love that. Yeah. So first time home buyers.
A link to my website on the post too, though, with all that's on there.
Yeah. So be very careful with links to external content in LinkedIn. So there's a very specific way to do this. There's actually two ways to do it, and people really argue both sides of it, and you'll have to test it and see how it works for you. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever the platform is, they want to keep people in their ecosystem on LinkedIn, you know, in like without leaving, right? So if you put a link in the body of the caption, so if you say like, hey, click here to learn more, that will reduce the visibility of your post. So the algorithms don't really love links in their post to external content. So typically what I'll do to keep my viewership up and things like that is I'll say there's a link in the comments below and put it in the first comment, say, here's the link to that caption or to that blog post. That way they treat it a little bit nicer. So that's idea one. Idea two is to, on LinkedIn, you can have a featured section on your profile. So what a lot of people are doing right now that I'm seeing actually get really good engagement is they say, click on my profile and you'll see the blog post very first on my featured section. So that would be probably what I would recommend to do, is throw it and just test both those things and see how that works. You know, the only one problem for you is like if the blog post is on your website, it may not translate perfectly to your profile of the LO or to yourself or whatever. So
Right.
try the caption thing for you and see if that works.
So I can actually say there's a link below in the comments and they won't pick up on that.
Yeah. Isn't that
But
weird?
they pick up if I put like meploans.com.
Yep. In the caption versus the comments.
So that's been killing us then, because we've been doing that. Okay.
Yeah, that'll kill you for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, I hope that was helpful.
Yeah.
Let's see how it works.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any other questions, Mary?
No, I don't think so.
Awesome. How about you, Alan? Any questions or comments from you? I think he might have, you're on mute, bud, or maybe you're just multitasking, which is totally cool too. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I will send out this video so you can have it in the future if you want it. Really appreciate you being here and learn a little bit today. And hopefully this helped a little bit for you.
It did. It's awesome. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mary. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye.